Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to the blindness of eternity. Kind of. It really won't be the blindness of eternity for another couple of episodes, but we'll call it that anyway. I came up with a catchphrase 4 episodes into the first one, and now we can't use any of that, and it's very sad for me, but I suppose we'll live. Anyway, when last we left off, we had just created Aldrea, and she's feeling a little sick to her stomach. So since she's feeling a little icky, we're just gonna have to go get ourselves some water, and the two of us look identical. Moving in sync. A bunch of caravanners here. We can go ahead and move the caravan.
Why not? There! Done!
My thoughts exactly! Girl after my own heart. So, why not? And then she
Anyone need
immediately
supplies?
repeats that.
I've got sundries for sale.
So, let's see. We've got clothing here. Let's take a look around here. I want to fully explore the camp. That guy seems to be smoking. Let's go over here. Say hi to the horses. So, we're going to be on the hardest difficulty because, of course, and other than that, should be
Not looking
relatively
forward to trying to
standard
lift
now.
that thing tomorrow.
Yeah, no crap. It's gonna be heavy. Sparfell.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
That stream ain't going nowhere. Calm down. I can just get the water myself. If the stream isn't going anywhere.
Let's...
Apparently I interrupted her talking.
Got it. Damn. Yeah.
So they're both on her. Flank this one. Knock it over, huh? Okay, so that thing died.
Yeah. Sure.
But as you guys can see, I'm not quite as clumsy with the mechanics as you would expect for a first run. And that's because I have in fact done this. So I have some idea of what I'm doing. Because I played for a few hours, got through the first few areas.
This is it.
It's really sad, guys. I'm very apologetic that I didn't manage to do the basic competence and get the stuff working. Okay, I'm gonna go with number 1. I was a blacksmith. And I'm gonna go with number 3. My skills were totally wasted on that place. Well, we've all got things we'd rather leave behind. God's no I do, I'll tell you that. Here's hoping they never track us down. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer makes the girl think, I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of this lot? That's a hard offer to pass up. You won't find many offers like it in these parts, believe me. Got some big plan in store? You're number 1. Make a new life for ourselves and then eventually become the lord of this land and then conquer every other land and then we shall be in charge of everything! Well, who knows? Raedric pays well enough, maybe we'll end up neighbors. One second, I just realized that I did set the alarm. I'm doing 1 hour for each of these videos. Alarm is set. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Demo will give me an airful. Let's be on our way. Right? She's saying we're wasting time talking, then let's do it. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfell's getting any water anytime soon. He does what he likes when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down this way. Come on, let's get you some water. Sounds good. I like the idea of water. Water in the morning, water in the evening. Yeah. Singing old commercial jingles. so found the stream. The dude isn't where we just saw him last. Travelers maybe are looters or bandits, bad sign any way you figure it. Corpses cold to the touch and a ripe smell wafts into putrid waves. A dark crusted bloodstain besmirches the simple linen coat. So, that's never pleasant. So we found corpses here. Now, the first thing that I did when I first played this game was actually I ran straight back to camp. But nobody would talk to me about the corpses that we found there. And I found that very strange. It seems like it's something that we should alert people to, but no.
What a surprise! Sparfle went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on.
So before we do that,
This is recent. Not good.
the prints around the campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. We're not going to grab that quite yet. Grab the mushrooms! Deer caps! Oh yeah, now we're going to go grab those. So we fully explored this area pretty much. Unless there's stuff over here. Did I miss a little place? I don't think so, but maybe. You crouch at the wyvern bank? Doesn't sound right. The river bank, and dip your water skin in the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees emerges Sparfell, one of the guide, barely discernible in the distance. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness in his gait. His stride wobbly as he moves toward you with labored breath.
Sparfle? Are you alright?
Sparfell's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap. The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. That's not good. As a rule.
Ambush!
Okay, so this is an archer, so we should kill that first. This is a melee, so we charge the archer. And we don't manage to reach it, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to just knock this one over. Knock this one over.
Damn.
Because we're now flanking, which means it will deal extra damage. Well, not extra damage, but we'll actually have a chance to hit. Please die. Okay, so Aldrea took her target out. We're in some serious trouble here. On the plus side, she's regenerating faster than the archer can hurt her, so it's fine. I was really worried about that for a second, but we're safe. Okay.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
So the way that this game works, when you have two different HP bars. You have hit points or health, and you have endurance.
Yeah.
Endurance is how much damage you can take in a given fight before you go down, and health is how much health you have before you die outright. So basically, as a warrior, you'll regenerate endurance. The only way to regenerate health that I found is to just rest. So just drag this guy behind the wall because he's an archer and we don't like archers.
Yeah.
Let's go!
You always want to bring ranged characters with you.
Shit.
Yeah.
So he's now prone, which means that he's going to just fall over. No problem. I'm going to save this. Keep moving. So this is not looking terribly good. All around you lie massacred remains of other travelers, peppered with arrows, knife hilts, splayed with bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds his wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Heoden, the last of your caravan still standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Let's see. I'm gonna go with number 2. Your words carry no weight when I've seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them, they mean to kill us all. Let's see. I'm gonna go with number 3. Calling them cowards is always a good idea. Your courage is a mask. What was the rest of what I said? None of you have yet slain a true warrior. The man's brow creases, questioning. We've killed many trespassers like you. Your kills are sloppy. The wounds on these people are inefficient and off-target. This is the work of untested men accustomed to carelessness. We'll see whose courage is a mask. He shoves Heoden towards you. As he does, the man rakes his blade against Heoden's torso. Heoden screams and stumbles forward, a wide gash in his clothing beginning to bleed. The man sets his feet to engage you, his axe held high. So let's try and do this.
How can I help?
Okay, so he's down.
What you need?
How can I help?
Let's have him try to blind this guy. Did he do it? No, he did not cause a status effect on him.
How can I help?
And these two are already engaged with this guy, so they're not going to be able to
How can I help?
engage the other guy. Okay. So hopefully what will happen is that guy will give up. Look like it's going to happen though. Holy crap. Minus 20 fortitude, minus 2 constitution. Ouch. Okay, so this guy's toast.
How can I help?
I don't know if there's a better way to handle this situation than the way that I handled it, but I don't really care. This is the way that I handled it last time. I like the idea of egging them on, and we'll see if it works this time. So, your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions now silent among other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, pitiful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath the choked eyes, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it's rending you apart from within. Seated against the wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom slashed across chest and bowel, Odema's body stirs, and with great effort, he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
Okay, so we're going to try to charge into the ruins. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands on the warm folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy, your arms give out, you swing yourself up to the ledge. Aiden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by his early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rock, one of the fallen attackers, who had been feigning death, lunges for Hayden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Hayden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. Despite the wind from this position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you'd have a good chance of hitting your mark. Alright, well, we're gonna do it. Your aim is true, and the hit... This is a spear, by the way, so... just chuck that shit. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Hayden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hayden clambers up to the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of him. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength as it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hayden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There's a deep resonance of the swelling of the wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections and settling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside. Can you walk?
Yeah.
Well,
Eh?
that could have gone better. So, the rest of the people outside have been pretty much butchered by these crazed barbarian dudes. On the plus side, we killed the barbarian dude, so that's good, I guess.
That should be far enough. But what now?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
No, number 2. Well, I'm gonna go with number 1, I guess. Windstorm, they only get an air Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathran word is Beowak, or Beowick. Apparently. It looks like it's pronounced Beowak, but they've been pronouncing it Beowick. To them, it's the god's way of reaping souls from the dead that couldn't find their way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? Glenfathrans, those would be the hut dwellers Odema warned you about. Look to be Fangs of Gallowayne, who are the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with the colonists. Poor Odema, I think he half expected this once we lost the main road. 3. I don't believe that. Odema would never allow it. But as much as the Fangs are hotheads, Glenfathrans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something or got the wrong idea, or there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. Alright, well, let's get going. Hidden takes a step forward and his knee buckles, and before anyone can catch him, he stumbles to the ground, his cheek striking with time-worn cobbles. On unsteady legs, he claws his way up to the wall and back to his feet, but his stance is shaky, like a sailor walking on land after a time at sea.
Could we maybe stay here and rest a few hours? I've lost some blood. Seems quiet off to the left. Might be a place to rest there.
I hate to say this, but we can't afford to stay put. Those Glenfathans were riled about something. Could be we got company in here. Looters will be armed and ready to kill, and there's probably a lot of them. We can't be caught sleeping in their beds.
Please, I just need to lie down for a while. Then we can move as fast as you want.
Maybe you didn't hear me. We are gonna die in here if we don't get moving and get this place figured out before the looters come back. We've either got to find the exit or a damn good place to hide.
Now, here's the reasoning for Aldrea. Aldrea is not one to sort of accommodate weakness, but getting slashed across the chest is not something to just sort of hang out with. And the idea of going toward the looters, because this is a linear path, right? Well, it's not linear. We can go to the left and we think that it's a dead end there, so we'll be safe, whatever. But if the left is a dead end, if that happens to be the case, then it's a linear path, right? There's only one other way to go, and that has to be the direction that the looters are. So approaching the looters, all we're going to be doing is reducing our own strength, particularly the strength of our injured party member. We're going to be reducing our own strength while simultaneously increasing the effective strength of the enemy, because they will have to travel less far to get to us, right, before they reach us. If they're not even going to come back here until they need to make camp, then obviously we want to wait for them to come back when they're tired and need to rest, right? So anyway, we're going to go with number 1, because there's no reason to go with 2 effective party members when we could go with 3. And so there we go. So we're going with number
This
1.
will be the end of us. No offense, but there's people out there I'd much rather die for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eh?
He says thank you as if like I'm doing it for him, but that's just not the case. It's just the sensible decision. And yes, I'm making sure to do every decision
Someone else has been here. We should move.
in the same way that I did it the first time, and I'm trying to explain my justification in the same way that I explained the justification the first time. So we need to...
Yeah.
Does she have... This is a club. I'm gonna take her axe. She can keep the torch. But I want to be dual wielding with her, and I don't think there's much reason for her to dual wield. So,
Eh?
there we go. I'm gonna take all this crap. Except apparently. Actually, I'm not gonna do this. Give this back to me. I can dual wield the mace. Oops. Okay. No. Okay. So, we're dual wielding with the mace. And it's time to take a nap for our dear friend here. Such a pretty cutscene. This is actually a really pretty game. I really like the way that the game looks. Hayden stretches as he wakes, gingerly probing the gash across his stomach. The flesh has begun to knit together.
By the gods, that's better. I think I'm ready to find a way out.
He sits up quickly and looks around the chamber. She really did leave us. She won't get far unless... He crawls to his knees and begins rummaging through the equipment with mounting desperation.
Damn her. She took all our water.
Well, we'll go with number 1. If we hurry, we can catch her. And she could just be out scouting, though that would be really dumb. But she hasn't demonstrated that much intellect thus far, so it wouldn't be terribly surprising.
Be quiet.
Let's go... We have a rogue, so we might as well stealth to
Eh?
scout things out. I do not remember what the layout of this place is, so... A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobbly elbows and thin ribs show through his scaly flesh, but you recognize it as Juarep. It watches you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. Okay, I'm gonna do number 1. Creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its head. Number 2. Recoils. It's still wrapped tightly, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. Alright, so we're just gonna back away from it. So it's sniffing us, which would imply to me... Oh, by the way, you guys can't see that. You'll be able to see this, some of the
Look at the
combat window
tiles.
now, but it's
What
bigger.
are those symbols?
Those symbols
Yeah.
look like things that we don't want to deal with right now. We want to deal with those later. So there's a body here. We can take this to the spear. Oh, okay, gotcha. Relief gem. Tattered journal. The small folio is torn in several places. The blood is soaked into several sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few bronze dice, and I've got my hands on a genuine Angwithan artifact. The fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He's not willing to go dig in some ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Ceylon at least this morning. Then it's just a matter of finding this relief he was talking about. Okay, so we'll just take everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up? Okay, so that thing is using an AoE. So
No
what we're gonna do is
problem.
we're gonna bait out the AoE. If we can.
No problem.
Yep. Well, not quite.
You...
Shit.
Hmm?
that is attacking.
Hmm?
There we go. Alright, so it's dead.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. So as you can see, we recover back up to full endurance after every fight, but our health is permanently lowered by the amount of damage that we took. So we want to take as little damage as possible while we're in here. This is a hatchet. Properties interfering. What does interfering mean? To 15 slashing damage, 12 to 18 crushing damage. So what does interfering do? Oh, it gives +5 deflection. That's really good. I didn't realize that. Cool.
Yeah.
So that hatchet is something that will
Take a
increase
look
my...
at the wall. Think we could get through?
Eh?
Number 1. Despite the damage, the stone looks heavy and solid. Pushing it. That hit him. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna leave for now. We don't need to use a hammer and chisel to break a hole in the wall. That's a little more time consuming than we need to do right now. We have plenty of other places to explore first. Let's check this part. You know what? Let's
Be quiet.
send in the rogue. I
That
can turn on
roundish
fast
symbol.
mode.
I'm pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
So,
Yeah.
nobody in here, so. Do I have a torch? Got to equip it? No. Looks like I have to equip the torch. Oh, it might have just been on the wrong character.
Yeah.
Save the game.
Quickly and quietly.
Okay, so
Hmm.
we have ooze over here.
No problem.
Pull this out. If possible. I'm gonna turn off fast mode. Okay, so we're gonna try and
No
pull
problem.
these guys back a bit. Looks like we're gonna fight the one. Yeah, this didn't occur to me before, but I could use a torch to fight enemies that are strong against physical damage. That never occurred to me.
Eh?
Hey. How's it going, eh? So we're just gonna...
After him! Ha! Got him!
Yikes. She crits him for 12 piercing damage. One thing that I like, by the way, in this game, which is cool, is that instead of giving you the attack rolls separately, it took me a while to figure out how to get to see my attack rolls when I was trying to figure out what the things were, but basically, instead of doing it that way, you actually can just hover over the attack, and that'll tell you all the information about the attack, the damage resistance that's going in, and all that other stuff, so 19.117.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a pole axe.
Hmm.
What's that muck on the wall?
Disconnect and oil, this muck clings to anything it touches. Viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down the wall. Its shapes and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you can't tell what. Okay, so we'll have to come back to this. I'm doing things slightly out of sequence with the way that I did them the first time. The first time I came back here after doing this route.
Poor Kalisha.
Well, this is why you don't abandon people to their deaths. So we're gonna have him carry this armor. Go ahead and put the water skin. And I don't think that we need this other stuff, so actually, beer. I'm actually gonna take all these potions too. No, I'm just gonna take everything. Because I'm curious about what that thing was sniffing around about. I actually never did anything with this guy in the last run, and this time I'm paying slightly more attention to what the dialogue was saying, and I have a suspicion that there's something that I can do with that guy. So I'll use my water skin to clear up the ooze. Let's use away, revealing the intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst surrounding it has chipped away in places, but the details of the head from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of its pointed ears still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty, a gem fills the other. So let's put a gem in the eye socket. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floor. Finally, a large section of wall gets back. And we have more rooms. And there. Ooh, easy. Okay. So we should be relatively safe here now. Try to knock this over and blind it. It's blind and flanked. It's not knocked over though.
Got him.
But I guess it's knocked over now because it's dead. He dead. And minor clip of protection. This gives +5 to fortitude, reflex, and will. Which is pretty cool. Adra and Amethyst.
Yeah.
We'll save this. She can equip the cloak. And that isn't going to be too helpful because I don't know if there's anything in here that uses those defenses. Defenses are very, very strong. It is incredibly powerful. There's no point where getting points your defenses is not going to have an amazing impact. So let's take a look over here. I'm going to have her go first. She can just walk across.
Do you feel that? There's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either.
Okay, so we fully searched this area.
Eh?
Save the game.
Sure.
There are 2 spiders here. I think it's kind of a waste to use the blind on the one that's already knocked over. So this one's flanked and dead. Very fast. I don't think that those things even hit me once. Okay. So let's go this way.
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
Okay, that sounds like
Time to see and not be seen.
that sounds like something I should do if he's flat out stating it's an option. So let's see what's here. We have these 2 guys here. Any more? One over here as well. So there's a starved Skulder Whelp as well as a bunch of other Skulder Whelps over here. So let's see if we can pull a limited quantity of them. Let's pull this guy if we can. Okay, so those guys are both going to use their AoEs if they get close enough. We don't want that. I'm going to try to pull them apart from each other. This is actually the area that I'm going to try to do that, by the way. it was on the spiders. No, I don't think it was on the spiders. It was on these guys that I learned how to do the pulling thing. Because the first time I came in here, I just got blown apart by the dual AoE combo. It was just hit so hard. So, first one's toast. And let's try to do this again. Second verse, same as the first.
Yeah.
So this one is not using its AoE off the bat. I don't see the other one. This is using its AoE off the bat this time.
Got it. No
Could have
problem.
gone better, could have gone worse. Okay, let's try to blind it and knock it over. Toasted. Okay. And if this seems remarkably easy for the difficulty level that it's on, don't worry guys, it's still on Path of the Damned, and yes, it's going to get really hard very quickly. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just have the one thing here to deal with. Oh, did it miss? I think it missed. 1 point of slashing damage. It grazed for slashing damage and activates stunning screen. I don't see any indication that anything
Yeah.
interesting happened there. Okay, so save's completed. And here's that wall we were looking at just now. So the wall looks solid, we're not going to bother knocking it over since we've already gotten through. I presume that that's just an alternative to getting through this here. So, let's save this and deal with the beasties in this next room. I'm fatigued, apparently.
Eh?
Shit. We're in trouble here.
Damn, missed. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in deep trouble here. Okay, that one's dead. And we have no abilities
Sure.
to use. So it's just a mono-e-mono, Aldrea versus the spider.
Damn, missed.
What are your defenses? It has 48. Wow, okay, so this thing has a lot of defense. What we're gonna do is we're gonna... Oh crap. I can't swap out my weapons. Forgot about that. So we're just gonna have very low accuracy against this sucker.
Damn.
And we'll just have to hope that we can beat it down slowly over time. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to though, it's going to beat us first. It's only at half-life, so...
That's not good.
There we go. So we're going to have to load. Oops. Oopsie doopsie. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll do this a bit more effectively this time. We're going to try to pull them and split them apart. Do not want to get the big one. So I'm going to try to knock this one over. There we go. It's knocked over, which means that he can now get sneak attacks on it.
How can I help?
Damn, missed.
The difference between getting sneak attacks and not getting sneak attacks is rather large, as you guys can see. is why you do not want the enemies attacking your rogues. Well, one of the reasons anyway. The other reason is they're squishy as heck. So, I think that that's the
Yeah.
only two of those. I'm gonna try to knock this thing over on the initial attack, and I'm gonna try to blind it immediately after that. While it's down. The key is, normally when it comes to crowd control, you would not want to sort of double up like that. But in this game, crowd control can crit and do glancing blows and has the same basic hit functions that all the other attacks have. So what that means in practice is that you want to try to hit them with the status effects when they have they're most susceptible to them, so that they'll have them for the longest duration. Because if you crit, they last 50% longer. If you get a glancing blow, they last half as long. So
Yeah.
the difference between a glancing blow and a crit is triple. So let's see what we can do. Oh, I have Skulder meat. A trembling sickly blah blah blah. We already. So let's do this. You produce a piece of Skulder meat from your back and toss it on the floor. The shore's nostrils flare at the scent of the fresh meat, and its eyes dart between you and the food. It creeps toward the prize, shoving the spear into your grip and snatching the meat with both hands in a glass knife. Its gullet quivers as it devours the flesh in noisy chomps. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna take this stuff. The Shorp is now friendly. You can save the game. It gave me its spear. So this is accurate. It gives +5 accuracy. So that's cool. And this does 12 to 18. This does 12 to 18 as well. Let's give her this for now. Actually, it drops my accuracy by a lot to equip 2 of these. I think I might be better off with just 1 of these for now. I might even be better off just using the hatchet. But this is going to be pretty weak. It doesn't do very much damage at all. I think I'll stick to the spear. I'll use the spear that this guy gave me. And actually, the other setup will be hatchet. Okay. There we go. So that's that little mini quest done. I'm glad that it doesn't give experience, and basically all you get out of it is the little spear. Not really a huge deal. You also get, I guess, the stuff that's behind him. You could also just go behind him and try to take the stuff, but if you try to do that, then he will turn hostile. Even if you're stealthed, strangely enough, even if he doesn't actually see that you're there, he will still turn it hostile. He'll just become hostile and then not attack anyone because there's nobody in range to attack, which is strange to say the least.
Yeah.
One thing that I did miss is that I forgot when I was over here to go, because I just rested. I need to go pick up the other camp supplies that are over here. And we can turn up the speed. Walk over here. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. See how long is this taking? A lot faster than the first time. Wow! I've only been streaming for 40 minutes. That's kind of crazy. Cool. So we still have 20 minutes left. Yeah, this is going to go way faster for the first couple of hours until I catch up to where I was before. And then it'll slow back down again as I start dying over and over and over again. You can see it.
This trip could have gone better.
This trip could have gone better. True story. True story. Four figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus. An ancient structure of chiseled Adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body. Colorless as stone or ash, the other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out amongst them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with runic language unlike anything you've ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book.
The book.
Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
That looks familiar. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then all at once it erupts with a concussive force. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed. Its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweaponed. At the far end is a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions. Pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking toward him now at a pace that is hurried while not trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him. One question above all, the question spins madly in your mind. And it looks like we're not going to get to ask it. And it also looks like those other people are now petrified as well. You awaken to find your malaise is broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. You find Hayden a short distance away in a shallow lake of his own blood. His body does not stir. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. So great, we... out of the frying pan and into the fryer. Let's see, I want to take the leather armor. And we will take these. Oh, apparently you can only stack 5 of them in a slot. You don't need a crossbow. Definitely not going to use that. This. Oops. Oh. Take this. And I think that the rest of the stuff stash.
Yeah.
One nice thing is that you can just dump things in your stash. die. It's one on a bench. Okay, that's more than slightly ominous. Lovely. Vessel flesh. Just what I always wanted. The massive structure is formed of stone, adder, and copper and covered in strange cliffs. The air about it vibrates with unusual energy. Okay, so this is somewhat concerning. You can hear the noises, the whispers in the back of my head. And let's continue on, I guess. So we're gonna go to here. Oh, okay. That's just we're gonna head to the Vale Wood, I guess, because I don't think we have anything else to do here. Pretty sure that we've done everything here. And this time we actually have done everything here.
Rest would
Last
be
time I
good.
didn't do that other thing. And I have just leveled up. Perfect. So I'm going to increase my skills. We're going to increase lore and athletics. I think that those are good things to increase. I think that everybody should have some athletics because if you have, what is it, 3 athletics, then you have minus 90% combat fatigue gain, which is absolutely huge. So, let's see. We don't need this. So we don't get any new class unlocks, we just get talents. Let's see, so the first one that we don't want rapid recovery, we don't want that. Oh, right. We should get a weapon focus first and foremost. Let's see. The last time I did Knight, so I think I'm going to do this again. I don't know whether Knight was the most effective focus to have, but that's what we're going with. So, Battle Axe, Sword, and Morning Star. The crossbow is irrelevant because we've never used it. Actually, I am going to check this and make sure that this is what I want. Adventurer gives Poleaxe, Estoc, Flail, Wand, which we don't want. Dagger, Rapier, no. Hatchet, Spear, Quarterstaff, Hunting Bow, and Unarmed. No. Saber, no. Greatsword, Pike, Warhammer, otherwise. So, Greatsword, Pike, and Warhammer. Yeah, so we're definitely going with Knight. This seems more Aldrea's style. We've got battle axes and swords for dual wielding and other cool stuff. Unfortunately, what gives me spear? Peasant. So yeah, no, it's gonna have to be Knight. I like spears being associated with Aldrea, even though she never uses a spear. It's not a weapon type that she ever uses. But for some reason, I just enjoy them for the purposes of video games. Aldrea has the ability to manipulate metal at will, and so what she actually uses is basically weaponry that changes mid-swing as she pleases. So she'll very often have it be sort of like heavy at the end, and then mid-swing it'll turn into a blade or a point in order to maximize the amount of damage that she's going to deal with that given swing. But anyway. The one problem is that I don't have any of the weapons. Oh, I didn't take that axe out of the stash, did I? Where'd the axe go? Didn't I take it off her body? Oh, I didn't loot the corpse of the guy? I did, though. That's why I have the 3 daggers. Why do I not have the axe anymore? I don't have the hatchet either. No, I have the hatchet. So where's the axe? Huh. That's an interesting conundrum.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's about. At any rate, I think it's time to keep exploring. Can loot this corpse, continue that armor. Check this side, check this side. Save the game, and we're going to explore this area a little bit before we move on. We're not going to be able to do this entire area, but we will be able to do some of it. This is not Might Magic 6. I will not be doing every area as I get to it. I will be doing things more in the manner in which they are intended to be done. So, unfortunately, I wish that I had that axe. Let's see here. What's up? Looks like she's alone for now.
Useless.
Really? Minus 17? Why is my accuracy so terrible? That's weird. Oh, because I'm fatigued. I have major fatigue. That's dangerous. I didn't realize that. On the plus side, the outlaw isn't doing really very much damage to me at all. Seems to fluctuate between piercing damage and slashing damage. I guess it has a sword, but you'd think that one or the other would be more effective. Okay, so that outlaw's toast. So we're gonna need to change
Why,
our...
I could bed down here.
I don't think you can. And that is a sword. Oh man, that's something that we need desperately. So we have a small shield already. I'm going to go ahead and swap over this and take everything. Now the question is, with defenses as low as they are... Oh, that's really interesting. So, that only gives a +1 to my accuracy. Wow, swords are really crappy compared to spears. This is 12 to 18 pierce, and +5 accuracy. This is 12 to 18 slashing. Oh, slashing or piercing. So I guess it does have the advantage of having a different damage type that it has access to. So that's the advantage that this has. So if I equip that shield, my accuracy is going to be so low that I'm never going to hit anything. I can't justify it. Having some extra defense would be nice, but that's just not going to be able to be a thing. So we're going to fight this wolf.
Damn, missed.
Oh, this is a young wolf.
After him.
We are unfortunately heavily fatigued, which is going to make life a little more difficult for us. On the plus side, we are really quite healthy. We didn't take a lot of damage in the area that we were in before. So let's see what we can do in order to maximize our chances here. Shattered pieces of the crater strewn along the dirt along with muddy vegetables. I'm actually going to try to do as much of this place as possible solo, because I think that'll be cool. Just try to do as much of this solo as is feasible. I don't think very much will be feasible. So there are 3 bandits here. Young dwarf tending to Stu looks up startled as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle, spattering Stu across the ground. What? Get her, you dogs, and make sure our new cook doesn't run off. Help, please help me. One of the bandits gives 10 for the kick as they pass him and he huddles. So we're gonna run away because one of these is an archer and I don't like that at all. Well, these guys are gonna cause some serious issues for me. Bane of horrible death. Dismemberment, I think. They are only hitting me for a tiny bit of damage, but they are doing it consistently. So their damage output is going to shrink dramatically here. Now that I've killed off one of them.
Damn, missed.
I'm actually regenerating faster than they're dealing damage now that there's only 2 of them. The problem is that I'm going to start running out of actual hit points as opposed to endurance. And when I run out of hit points, then I'm just die. Yeah, we're looking at only 59 total health left. This guy's still barely injured. So we're just not hitting him. This is a really long fight, actually. I'm surprised. And you can see my max HP bar is... Wait, this outlaw is regenerating? Oh. Well, that's an issue. So this outlaw can regenerate. That's why we're barely injured, because he's actually just regenerating up the damage that we deal. I'm gonna have to load this. And we'll have, we could potentially do this, actually, if we can
Sure.
get a slightly better engagement on these guys. Let's see if we can get rid of the archer. I'm just gonna charge as far away as I can, and unfortunately, that's not gonna do a thing. I don't think that there's gonna be any way to de-aggro these guys. So instead, we will just have to feed an attack. Unfortunately, I failed to knock this guy over, which means we're going to do a lot of damage there. My curiosity here is whether I can conceivably kill the first one, get to the archer, kill the archer, and it'll depend on whether we regenerate fast enough, basically. We're down to 5 hit points. 8. Yeah, this one's taking permanent damage. So time's up. Not quite dead. Nope, we're dead. Okay, well, that's actually perfect timing because my alarm just went off. So that's going to be it for this first stream. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.